I have to tell you, this is exactly the kind of twist that makes me look forward to every new episode of General Hospital. I've watched enough soap stories over the years to know that secrets never stay buried for long, but every once in a while one comes along that changes how I see two characters at the same time. The moment I started thinking about Emma Scorpio Drake discovering the truth about Josslyn Jax, I couldn't help but smile. Around here, we'd say, well, that sure changes the whole ball game. And in my opinion, it really does. What grabs my attention isn't just that Josslyn is secretly working for the WSB. It's the person who's about to uncover that secret. Emma has always struck me as someone who notices the little things that everyone else misses. She isn't the type to let strange behavior slide, so it feels completely natural that she'd eventually connect the dots. If I were standing in her shoes, I'd be asking 100 questions too. How did Josslyn end up living a double life? How long has this been going on? And perhaps the biggest question of all, how did nobody see it sooner? I also find it fascinating because Emma and Josslyn haven't been at each other's throats lately. In fact, things have been fairly calm between them, which is usually the biggest warning sign in a soap opera. Every time relationships settle down in Port Charles, I start expecting another storm to roll in. Sure enough, this secret has all the ingredients to reignite the rivalry that many viewers probably thought had cooled off for good. That's the beauty of a story like this. It doesn't need shouting matches or over-the-top drama right away. Sometimes all it takes is one unbelievable truth landing in the wrong person's lap. Of course, Emma isn't going to stumble onto this information and simply shrug her shoulders. I don't believe that for 1 second. She's bound to confront Josslyn sooner or later, and I think that's where things become truly interesting. I can almost imagine Emma trying to piece together every strange moment from the past, suddenly realizing those odd disappearances and mysterious excuses weren't random after all. Looking back with fresh eyes has a funny way of making everything click into place, and that's exactly what I expect to happen here. Now, before any of that can happen, Josslyn still has unfinished business on Spoon Island. That's another reason I'm not rushing this storyline in my own mind. Soap operas work best when one crisis naturally flows into another, and I think that's exactly what's happening. Once the chaos on the island settles down, Josslyn won't be able to hide behind bigger emergencies anymore. That's when Emma's discovery can take center stage, and I have a feeling the timing couldn't be more explosive. One thing I really enjoy about this setup is how believable Emma's first reaction is likely to be. If someone had told me a while back that Josslyn was secretly training as a WSB agent, I'd probably have laughed and said, "You've got to be kidding me." So I completely understand why Emma might doubt it at first. She may question whether Josslyn is truly capable of handling dangerous spy missions or whether someone made a terrible mistake. But experience has taught me that people often surprise us the most when we underestimate them. That's one lesson General Hospital loves to remind us of. As the truth sinks in, I suspect Emma will have no choice but to admit that Josslyn is far more capable than anyone realized. That realization alone could completely reshape the way Emma looks at her. Respect can grow from surprise, but so can jealousy, frustration, and even insecurity. I've seen friendships and rivalries change overnight because one person suddenly discovers the other has been living a life they never imagined. Then there's the burden Josslyn will have to carry. If she's still operating as a secret WSB agent, asking Emma to keep quiet won't simply be a favor between friends. It'll be a test of trust. And let me tell you, secrets like that rarely make life easier in Port Charles. The more people who know the truth, the heavier it becomes. I've watched enough years of this show to know that once a secret starts making the rounds, it's only a matter of time before everything gets turned upside down. The more I sit with this storyline, the more convinced I become that Josslyn is walking into a problem she simply can't solve with a quick explanation. Once Emma uncovers the truth about the WSB, there isn't any magic switch that lets Josslyn erase what Emma knows. That's the scary part. Secrets are easy to protect until someone else starts carrying them. After that, you're no longer the one in control, and I think Josslyn is about to learn that lesson the hard way. If I were in Josslyn's shoes, I'd be losing sleep over this. She has worked so hard to build this new life, and she's been forced to keep every piece of it hidden from almost everyone she cares about. That isn't an easy burden for anyone to carry. Then, just when she thinks she's managing both worlds, Emma comes along and accidentally blows the whole thing wide open. I'd call that bad luck. But in Port Charles, it almost feels inevitable. Sooner or later, somebody always stumbles onto the truth. What really keeps my mind spinning is what Emma decides to do next. I don't actually think she's going to run around town shouting that Josslyn works for the WSB. That doesn't sound like Emma to me. She's much smarter than that. She understands the value of information, and smart people don't throw valuable information away. They hold on to it until the right moment arrives. That's exactly why I think Josslyn has every reason to be nervous. Emma may never openly threaten her. She may never even raise her voice. Instead, I can picture her quietly keeping this secret tucked away in the back of her mind, waiting for the day when she needs something only Josslyn can provide. Maybe she needs protection. Maybe she needs answers. Maybe she finds herself in a dangerous situation that requires someone with WSB connections. Whatever the reason, I can absolutely imagine Emma looking Josslyn in the eye and reminding her that some favors are easier to ask when both people have something to lose. I've watched enough years of General Hospital to know that the most dangerous kind of leverage isn't loud or dramatic. It's calm, it's patient. It's the kind that sits quietly until the perfect opportunity appears. Around here, we'd say, keep your powder dry. And I have a funny feeling that's exactly what Emma might do. She won't waste her advantage if she's thinking 3 steps ahead. Now imagine what that does to Josslyn. Every conversation with Emma suddenly becomes uncomfortable. Every unexpected phone call feels suspicious. Every request starts sounding like it might come with hidden conditions. Living that way has to be exhausting. I don't care how well trained someone is as a WSB agent. Nobody enjoys wondering whether the next person they meet is about to expose the biggest secret of their life. And let's not forget Josslyn's personality. She has never been someone who responds well when she feels cornered. That's one of the things I've always appreciated about her character. She fights back. Sometimes she makes mistakes because of it, but she refuses to let people push her around. If Emma starts using this information to influence her decisions, even in the smallest way, I don't expect Josslyn to quietly accept it. I expect sparks to fly. That's where I believe the old rivalry begins to wake up again. For a while, it looked as though Emma and Josslyn had finally reached a place where they could move on from their past conflicts. I actually enjoyed seeing that because not every disagreement needs to last forever. But soap operas have a funny way of reopening old wounds when everyone least expects it. One shocking discovery can undo months of progress, and I think this WSB secret has exactly that kind of power. The interesting part is that this won't simply become a battle over who's right and who's wrong. It'll become a battle over trust. Can Josslyn trust Emma to stay quiet? Can Emma trust Josslyn when she refuses to answer certain questions? Can either one of them honestly believe the friendship or whatever relationship they still have can survive after such a huge secret has been revealed? Those questions interest me far more than any spy gadgets or undercover missions ever could. At the end of the day, the emotional fallout is what keeps me coming back to this show year after year. I also can't ignore how much bigger Emma's world is becoming. This WSB story is only one piece of the puzzle. She also has growing connections with Gio Palmieri, Anna Devane, and several other characters whose lives rarely stay calm for very long. That's what makes this summer feel different to me. Emma isn't just reacting to other people's stories anymore. She's becoming someone who can influence multiple storylines at once, and I think that's a huge step forward for her character. If you ask me, this has all the ingredients of a classic General Hospital rivalry. There will probably be tense conversations, hurt feelings, unexpected alliances, and more than a few moments where both women question who deserves their trust. Those are the stories that stay with me long after the credits roll. They remind me that the biggest battles in Port Charles aren't always fought with weapons or secret missions. Sometimes they're fought with loyalty, silence, and the choice to protect or betray the people standing right in front of you. That's why I'll be paying close attention as this story unfolds. Emma's discovery may seem like one secret falling into the wrong hands today, but I have a strong feeling it's only the first domino. Once that first piece tips over, the rest usually follow, and before anyone realizes what's happening, the entire landscape of Port Charles could look very different. And if there's one thing I've learned after all these years, it's this. When a secret starts changing hands in General Hospital, nobody walks away untouched.